Welcome back. I think now what we'll start work on, I would sooner work our way down so we can do this part here. So you can see that this part is pretty much on its own. So let's just hide that one out of the way. I think I can work with it like this. Now, rocks and things like that are generally hard to UV unwrap. They're just a funny shape and generally they're hard. So it's a bit hit and miss when you first unwrap it. Sometimes you have to go in and actually unwrap it again and mark different seams out. So I'll press tab, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find a middle point, which I'll find here, and I'll press Alt Shift. That'll take it all the way around, and obviously I don't want it going all the way around, but I'm going to try and mark in a cross shape, so like this, so it's sprouting out, and I'm going to look to see whereabouts I realistically need to go up to, and I would say up to this point, and you'll see exactly how this unwraps when I've got it on this point. So if I press C now, and I just press the middle button, and I'm just going to go around now, and remove in a line, so you can see the edge loop going around, all up to this point. And now I'm going to press Ctrl E and mark seam. Now, luckily for us on this, the actual texture is very random. So it has a lot of burns going down it and things like that, so you shouldn't see too much, but we will see when we actually bring it in how it looks, and we may have to revisit unwrapping this. But for now, you'll see if I come over to the plus and I go down, click resolution, and then press tab, Ctrl A, rotation and scale, tab once more, U, unwrap, and you'll see that we get something like this. And you can see that where the seams are actually marked. Now, if we come to our UV editing, you'll see it's unwrapped kind of like that. So it's pretty flat, and if I drag this out, so S, you can see that we have some stretching on this, but not too much, and that's to be expected. Now, you can come in and you can go to UV and you can come to minimize stretch. And if you move your mouse with the scroll wheel, you can see that you can reduce this stretching in some way. But like I say, no point messing around with it yet until we bring our texture in. Let's just get a base to start with. So I'm going to once more unwrap, just to stick it back in there. And I'm going to leave that as is for now. So let's press tab once more, Alt H, and bring in the other parts. So let's grab this now, and we can join it up with this, so Ctrl J. And we're going to split them anyway, again, but based on material next time. So now I'm just going to try and grab these, Ctrl J. I'm going to press G and see what else I need to grab. So I'm pressing G, and then I'll right click, and now I can see that I need to grab these and these, so Ctrl J, and also this, so Ctrl J, and now see when I grab it, just the metal pieces to go. So I'll grab these, Ctrl J, and there we go. You can see now this is unwrapped. It's much easier to hide. So let's hide that, and let's start work on this part. So press tab, and you can see that we really didn't mark a lot of seams on this part. So let's do these first. These are already these seams are already marked, which makes it very easy for us to deal with these. Not only that, most of this is metal. Things that are metal are much easier to UV unwrap because you can't see actually where they join. It's very, very hard to see. Bricks and things like that, or roof tiles, are much, much easier to see where the seams join. So let's first of all come in, and what we'll do is on Vert Select, we will grab all of these just to get them out. Just to get them out of the way, because we know that these are going to be fine. And I'm just grabbing them. I don't need to UV unwrap them yet. I know that these will unwrap correctly. So I'm just checking though, just to make sure that they are all done. These here are also done. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, they've got a seam there, look, going round, so it's not an infinite loop. Let's hide those. And now we have this part to work on. So let's start with the outside, I think, and then we'll move on into the inside. So let's grab these parts first, and press H for hide, and then we're left with this. So they have got some seams marked on here, and that should be enough actually to unwrap it. So let's just grab this part here, and I'll hide that. Now these should unwrap correctly, so we'll just check that before we go on. So let's grab these and we'll go to plus, down to resolution, and we can see now if we grab just these parts, press U and unwrap, you can see that they are unwrapped pretty nice already. So we can hide those. And now I'm going to go to solid mode, and now I'm going to mark these seams on these metal parts here. So again, I'm going to shift click the top and bottom of all of these. And again, we have to remember that we do not want an infinite loop. So now I'm going around the outside. And again, I'm working pretty methodical. And now I'm going underneath, like so. Press Ctrl E, mark seam. And now I don't want an infinite loop. And the way that I do that is I'm going to put it on the inside of these where people cannot see it. So I'm going to press Alt H. And now I can see that I need to mark a seam in here, and this is exactly where people are not going to see. So I'll press Ctrl Z, and I'll grab these here, Ctrl E, mark seam, Alt H, and then we're going to go this way, look, up here, Ctrl Z, and I'll mark a seam in here. And we've got a problem here with this part here, so what I'll do is I'll press Ctrl E first, I'll mark these seams, and then I will actually hide this. So hide, and I can mark it here now. So Ctrl E, mark seam, and now press Alt H, and I know I can mark my next seam up here. So Ctrl Z, let's click these, Ctrl E, mark seam, and we're just basically going around and repeating the process. So Alt H, and let's mark them up here. Mark seam, Alt H, and I think this is the last one, so Ctrl Z, Ctrl E, mark seam, Alt H, and yep, that's the last one. Now all I need to do is I need to just go to the back. So this is where the seam is on this one, so I know it's here. I'm just going to go down, Ctrl E, mark seams, and that's basically going to make sure the back is also non-infinite loop, and that it's also hidden as best as we can. So we can see here, if I mark here, I'm not actually going to pull mark here, but I know that it lines up then, and I can grab this one and this one, and we missed a bolt there, but never mind. Ctrl E, mark seam, and I'm just going to go around, look where my next one is, so it's here. Ctrl E, mark seam, and I think, is this one the last one? So it's there. And let's have a look. Nope, we've got one more to do, which is here. Have we got one more? Yes, we have one more, which is nice. So here it is. There we go. Ctrl E, mark seam. And now we should be able to go back to our material and grab each one of these, and they should unwrap pretty nicely. Now we'll go ahead and check that when we've unwrapped everything, just to make sure they are, because we've not reset the rotation and scale yet. So let's bring things back now and look what we need to unwrap. So we've got these unwrapped, we've got this unwrapped, and the last thing we need to unwrap is these parts here, this part here, and this middle part here. I think these are already done. Yes, are they done? Not sure. Let's hide these, go into solid mode just so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to work on these parts here for now, and I'll also hide that. I don't think I need to hide my bolts, I think I can work without that, so I'll just hide that, and I will also hide just these in parts just so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So H for hide, and now let's mark some seams going around here. So if I mark all the edges going around on these, same as this one, and I also need to do the top, and we also need to do the inside. So let's just go around in a big circle, like so. So Control E, mark seams, and now I need to do the inside exactly the same as what we did on the outside. Oops. that one got? And I'll mark those out just so I can start fresh on this one. And for those of you used to my courses, you will be an old hand at doing this, especially in the medieval building one. We unwrapped a lot on that one. So let's Control E, mark seam. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And what I'll do is I will put a seam right in the bottom here, just to make sure that this here again is not an infinite loop. And then we'll go to here and mark seam. So Control E and mark seam. Alt H, bring everything back, and now I've done all these parts. I have these to work on. So let me first of all work on this part here. So what I'll do is I will grab all the, in fact it's easier to grab the inside, so let's just hide just these parts here, hide, and now what we'll do is we'll grab the inside of it like so, and then the corners, and that then should unwrap correctly. So Control E, mark seam, Alt H. Right, okay, so we've done that one, and now finally we're left with these. So let's just hide this for 1 second, and you can see that I've got faces here that I really don't need, so I will delete those faces. Delete faces, and now I'll mark one seam on here. So each of these faces, Control E, mark seam. Come to vert select, and we'll just mark one seam underneath each one of these. So Control E, mark seam. Okay, so last part is just this center part now. Let's see what that's going to look like. And like I said, anything that we've done wrong will show up. Okay, let's hide that. And I think this is in 2 parts. So we can see that we can mark a seam going all the way around here. We can mark a seam going all the way around here. So let's mark those 2 seams. Let's press Alt H, and I'm just looking if there's anything I can hide, but unfortunately on this I cannot. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to put my seam here, and the reason for that is we've got this big piece of wood at the back. So let's mark the seam here, so Control E, mark seam, and let's look at how this is going up then. So again, I'm just going to hide these and this, so hide. And now I need to mark seams on this part and on this part. Again, we don't want an infinite loop, so I will come and try and line my seam up here. So as you can see, if I can zoom in a little bit and mark my seam here, that should be fine. So Control E, mark seam. Now this part here, if we go to face select and select with L, you can see it's just one piece. So that should unwrap absolutely fine. So now let's press Alt H, and what we need to do is we need to grab everything, press Tab, Control A, rotation scale, and now let's see if these unwrap. So we're going to press Assign, go to Material, press U, press Unwrap, and now let's go to our UV editing, and we can see that's what they look like so far. Press A, and we're going to make this huge, really big. And the reason for that is then we're really going to show up if anything's not right. And pretty much on those you can see everything's looking pretty nice. I'm actually going to make this even bigger for the simple fact I really want to see if these bolts are unwrapped correctly, and you can see there that they're unwrapping perfectly well. So that's looking pretty good. Let's come out now, press U and unwrap. That'll stick them back in. We're probably going to have to make them bigger anyway, but for now we'll leave it like that. We know they're done now. And lastly, what we need to look at now, if we go to solid mode, we can see that this is not correct. It should be rounded off. So let's come up to our triangle and let's turn this up, and we can see there is an issue. This isn't with the rest of them. So let's come in first of all. So untick this, press the tab button, right click, and what we're going to do is shade smooth. Just make sure you're on face select, else it will not come up. And now finally we can go to triangle, auto smooth, And now let's press tab and have a look around. And you can see now that it's looking much better. We haven't really even got to do anything. These edges are looking nice, and especially this back plate here. So finally, let's now go to our material again, press Alt H, and we should be left with something like this. And the only other part that we haven't done on this is these ones here. So we need to work on these parts here before we do anything. So let's just grab this part, press H for hide, and we'll grab this, H for hide, and let's quickly now work on here. Now I think if we press tab, that all the seams on here are actually marked out already for us. So let's give that a test. So let's press L in vert select on each of these. Press P, selection, re-grab them, Control A, rotation and scale, tab, A to grab them all, and U and unwrap. And let's now go and see in UV editing how they have unwrapped. So let's make them bigger and let's have a look. And we can see that we've got a little bit of issues around here. As you can see, there are stretching on here, and that might mean that, let's check the seams out and look where the seam is marked. So we have seams marked here. Now what that means is that the part from here, this part here, so this edge, is not enough. There's not enough of a break just from this. So it means that we need to mark seams on each of these edges here to make sure that it unwraps correctly, and you'll see when I do that that it's going to make the seams unwrap much more efficiently, and we're not going to get no stretching, because joined seams isn't nowhere near as bad as stretching when you're looking at a mesh. So let's mark those. When you're looking at a mesh with textures on, when there's stretching, it really shows up. When it's seams joining on metal, doesn't really show up that much. So let's just make sure I've got them all. Okay, so let's go around the other side. Control E, mark seams. Let's just grab this one for now, and this is where the you can see where this goes around. Is basically these parts here. So if I press U now for unwrap, and let's go in, and you can see now the split on pretty much all of them. We haven't got one here, as you can see, and there should be one, which means that we've actually missed one. So let's find where the culprit is. There, nope. I can't find where that one. There he is. Look. Okay, so let's mark that seam, and again grab it. U for unwrap, and now they've unwrapped correctly. So let's go now to our other one, and we'll grab this one as well. U for unwrap, and let's have a look. So that one's correct, and they've unwrapped absolutely fine. So now we just put on material, and what we'll do is we'll grab all of these with A, and then press S and drag them out. And now you can see that we have no stretching. There's a bit of bending, obviously it's going up this way and this is going around at this angle and things, but this is going to be made of metal, so the bending, the rotation of the texture doesn't really matter too much. So okay, happy with those. You unwrap, let's stick them back. Right, let's come back to modeling, and we'll press Alt H, and now what we'll do is we'll grab these and this, press Control J, G, and I need to add that in, Control J, G once more, and now I can see I've actually got everything, and that's looking pretty nice for that part. So let's hide that part. So on the next part we'll continue to work our way down, and we should be able to get to this point here and all this basically around here, hopefully. Let's see how we go on the next lesson, everyone. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.